This all started with the discovery of human remains along the bay.
Yeah, by all accounts, from what neighbors have told us, from what investigators have said, it sounds like the death of this young woman was the culmination of a very relationship. A 27-year-old Rachel Buckner's body was found in a bag along the Alameda shoreline back in July. Her body was not intact.
For one mother in California, May 13, 2024 will be a day that justice was finally served for her family after many years of hurt, pain, and grief. An indescribable hurt came after a mother of a law student lost her child in one of the worst ways possible. Making the situation more devastating was the fact that the once close mother and daughter duo were torn apart by an egotistic, narcissistic councilman who appeared to use his gift of gab to disguise who he really was so that he can make himself look good in every situation. This San Francisco councilman was trying to make it onto the world stage and appeared to be making his claim to fame until it all came crashing down. This is the story of Rachel Elizabeth Imani Buckner and how she met her tragic end by the hands of a councilman by the name of Joseph C. Roberts. Family and friends of Rachel Buckner, who went by her middle name Imani, said she was a radiant light who was fearless and full of confidence. Growing up, she was raised in a home that was full of God, love, and education with both her parents and her little brother. As a young girl, she played soccer and loved reading books and helping others. She also was in Girl Scouts for 12 years, and with over 100 badges, she learned a lot of valuable things that she applied to her life as she aged. Imani's bonus mother said she would debate you to the end of time to get her point across, and her laughter was so high-pitched you would always know when she was in the room. During her teen years, she excelled in high school and received 15 different college offers. Of those offers, she chose to attend her late father's alma mater, Howard University, in Washington, D.C. on a full-ride scholarship. Meanwhile, while an 18-year-old Imani was wrapping up high school in the spring of 2013, over 2,700 miles away in Savannah, Georgia, a 32-year-old man was in the midst of his own problems at Savannah State University. Joseph C. Roberts was a senior at Savannah State University and started higher levels of education a little later in life because he was a part of the Navy for 4 years in his early 20s. During his time at the university, he would become a part of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity and pursued his desires to be a part of Student Government Council as well. Somewhere in the spring of 2013, Joseph was said to be 3 weeks from graduating when allegedly he was accused of misconduct on April 3, 2013, and he had to vacate the premises of Savannah State University immediately. However, Joseph claimed that the allegations against him were false and he was denied due process. During the same time, lawmakers were working on the reform of Title IX, which was a groundbreaking civil rights law of 1972. It was a federal civil rights law that prohibited any discrimination on the basis of gender in education programs and activities. Joseph said that he and other males were denied due process because of that Title IX, even though the law was created to make things equal. Basically, Joseph claimed that he was wrongfully accused and was suspended the same day the complaint was made against him. With his case happening around the same time as lawmakers wanting to make reform to Title IX, Joseph was picked to be a part of an ABC Nightline special. During the segment, the main focus was highlighting the treatment that male students don't receive fair treatment from their school for alleged misconduct. From all accounts, Joseph appeared to be sincere and a Navy veteran wrongfully accused of misconduct on his college campus.
So what's it like to be back here, Joseph?
It's spooky.
After serving in the Navy, Joseph was on track to become the first person in his family to receive a college diploma. Instead, he received this email that derailed his dream of graduating.
The email said, you're hereby summarily suspended. A couple minutes later, there was a campus-wide email alert with my picture. It was almost like a mugshot. If you see me, picture, immediately report to public safety.
The reason? 2 students filed complaints, making what Joseph says were false allegations of verbal and online. And according to documents obtained by ABC News, he was suspended the same day the first complaint was made.
After his expulsion from school, Joseph filed a lawsuit and represented himself, but a judge ended up throwing it out. Beyond all of this, who was Joseph Roberts before he gained national attention in 2018?
During the height of the Me Too movement, a small but vocal contingent of men claimed to be victims. They said their reputations or even their lives were ruined by false accusations of and said that an overzealous movement was trying men in the court of public opinion without waiting for due process. One of them was Joseph Carl Roberts.
Yes, he was a Navy veteran. He enlisted in the Navy, spent 4 years there working on a ship. He left the Navy and he claims he was a train engineer for a period of time, but I checked with the company he said he worked at, and they have no records of that. But eventually he winds up going to undergrad at Savannah State University in Georgia. And it's there where he gets into the first real trouble in his life. Initially, he's dating a woman and they break up. And there's a police report showing that he is accused of spreading some false rumors about his ex-girlfriend on social media as well as text, and she winds up trying to delete his accounts, and they get the police involved in that. And then later that school year, this is his senior year now at Savannah State, he is accused of some woman, and what exactly transpired there is a little unknown, but that leads to him being expelled from school right before graduation and leading to him filing a lawsuit over that, saying the school was biased against him for being a man. And that is what brings him into national attention, where the Trump administration kind of uses him as an example of a purported offender who is falsely accused.
Things appear to be on the up and up for Joseph after his segment where he revealed he finished his degree online. Now back in Washington, D.C., Imani Buckner continued on a path upward at Howard University and will graduate in May 2017, magna cum laude, with dual degrees, a BS in sports management and a BA in philosophy.
Just like everybody else, I want to thank everybody who's here, thank my family for being here. I just want to acknowledge, for those of you who don't know, my father passed away in January of last year. And I had some people after the funeral ask me why I was going back to school, or if I thought that it would be better if I just took some time off. And I had a professor tell me that I did not belong in school at that time in my life, that I was not able to, that grief was not going to allow me to continue my education. And I just want to thank God, my family, and my supporters, my village, because I made it. And honor my father, who didn't get a chance to graduate from Howard University. And it has always been important to me to do it on time. It's always been important to me to do it with distinction. And so I feel blessed that I was able to have the support system to do those things. So thank you so much.
She was so highly intelligent with a fantastic academic career, and many who knew her raved at how brilliant she was. Later in the story, Imani and Joseph will end up crossing paths at another school they both attended to study law. Now back to Joseph. Between the years of 2013 and 2018, when the special aired, he continued his mission on Title IX reform and also was working his way up the social ladder. He was considered the poster child for men being falsely accused and suffering the consequences. He was attending multiple events and bumping shoulders with some important people. When you look at his social media, he shows you a life full of beautiful things, but in reality, was he really the person that he tried to display on social media? At some point, Joseph married a military service member who was stationed in Germany, but the couple did not last, and the pair would end up filing for divorce. By 2018, Joseph had moved to San Francisco, California, when he started law school on a full-ride scholarship at Golden Gate University in the fall of that year. It was during this time that the divorce proceedings started kicking in and he allegedly was dealing with a lot mentally and decided to take the rest of the year off after his first semester. As for Imani at this time, she was preparing to go into law school and also would become a mother in November 2019. She welcomed a little girl into the world just 2 weeks after her 24th birthday and was so happy about becoming a mom. She would further her higher education at Golden Gate University, and that is where she would meet Joseph. Imani and Joseph eventually started dating, but some thought they were an odd match, and she started getting pulled away from friends and family. As the relationship progressed, it appeared online to be a normal, healthy relationship, but was allegedly nothing but. It was quickly revealed that there were some DV issues, and authorities allegedly went to their home up to 17 times for welfare checks and DV calls. Things got so bad that loved ones even started a hashtag, Pray for Imani, because they felt she was stuck in a DV situation. This all came right on the heels of COVID, so many things appeared to be happening with the couple that many did not see physically, but heard about through phone calls and texts. While the pair were dating, Imani had a summer associate's position for 2 summers in a row at a law firm and did so well the firm had prepared for an offer once she graduated law school. As for Joseph in 2020, while in Lower Nob Hill, he campaigned for a local Republican Party committee seat with the slogan, For God, For Country, For San Francisco. He described himself as a law and order candidate who sought to support the policies unleashing economical growth and diversify leadership. Joseph was elected in March 2020 for a 4-year term. However, according to John Dennis, chairman of the local Republican Party, Joseph resigned from his role some time ago for reasons he could not recall, and he also stated that Joseph wasn't very involved with the party anyway. So was it all a facade, and was Joseph just trying to come across as someone he was not? Well, it appears so, because like I showed you before, he regularly posted photos of himself online with celebrities and other notable figures, ranging from the Warriors player Stephen Curry and businessman Mark Cuban to Vice President Kamala Harris. However, 2 of his images he purportedly posted, one of him standing next to San Francisco Mayor London Breed in a black tie affair, and another of an $1,800 receipt for a table for 2 at the French Laundry, as if the pair were together there. This strange photo caught the attention of a fellow Republican delegate. The photo with London was also captioned, "There's so much more to this story." The reason the photo was considered strange was because Joseph never attended any dinner at the higher class restaurant, and definitely not with Mayor London. The French Laundry also verified that the receipt appeared to be fake and that Joseph was not even there. A spokesperson for Mayor London said Robert never dated the mayor or went to dinner at the French Laundry with her. Rather, Robert briefly came up to London at a couple of public events, including one at the San Francisco Symphony, where he and London really took the photo and posted it on his social media. Then, allegedly, his strange behavior after that required her team to report him to her security and the San Francisco Police Department. This once again was a side of Joseph that he tried to cover up, making up lies to try and gain social status. Meanwhile, behind the scene, Joseph had turned Imani's world upside down, and the 2 would even catch a case together. The pair allegedly broke into Imani's mother's house a year before she disappeared, and both ended up on probation.
Shocking developments was police officers testifying about witnesses they spoke to who were neighbors at that Pleasanton apartment. They spoke about frequent yelling matches in that unit between the couple, and they would hear her pleading for him to stop hitting her, and then they'd hear a thud. At one point, a neighbor saw Imani running, get out of the apartment and crying hysterically, asking for help. Was there anything that could have been done to step in prior? We don't know exactly what happened on those incidents where there was police contact at their apartment complex.
Right.
The year before the couple got arrested for breaking into Imani's mother's house in San Ramon, and that wound up getting both of them probation.
Whoa.
And also the mother had definite concerns over that relationship.
From this situation, Imani's mother said that Joseph beat her and Imani's grandmother. So Imani became estranged from her loved ones for a very long time. On July 20th, 2023, along the shoreline of the San Francisco Bay, near the Bayform's Island Bridge, a body was found wrapped in a black trash bag. Authorities initially had little information to go on because the body was dismembered and not all the parts were present, and it would take them over 30 days to get DNA evidence to verify that the body found was indeed 27-year-old Rachel Elizabeth Imani Buckner. Sadly, because of the isolation from her family, Imani's family did not even know that she was missing, let alone unalive. At the time of her unaliving, Imani and Joseph were living together in Pleasanton, California, and not once did he ever report her missing. Allegedly, he was driving her car, using her money, and had started a relationship with 3 other different women from the July 20th date until the day he was arrested on September 6, 2024. The authorities were able to tie Joseph to the crime because his DNA was on the duct tape that was used to seal the garbage bag that Imani's body parts were in. Can you imagine her mother's dismay to find out her daughter was not only unalive, but dismembered? What makes it even more sadder is the divide he caused and the strife he brought towards Imani's family, all while portraying to be a caring and humble man who cared about others to the public. It was all a lie, and Joseph was victimizing others to make his life look better. All the while, he appeared to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, he had his day in court, and a jury did deliberate for less than a day before finding a now 43-year-old Joseph C. Roberts guilty on May 13, 2024. After the verdict was read, the DA, Pamela Price, said, "I first want to thank the jury and their work in delivering a guilty verdict. I also want to thank the City of Alameda Police Department, the FBI, and the Alameda County Sheriff's Office for their diligent investigation. I also want to commend our entire prosecution team. Today's verdict brings justice not only for Rachel Elizabeth Imani Buckner, but also to her daughter, her immediate and extended family, and our community. What happened to Rachel Elizabeth Imani Buckner is unimaginable. The condition of her body when she was found shocked our humanity. This tragedy will leave her family and our community forever traumatized whenever her unaliving is mentioned."
This has been absolutely traumatic for the family because the victim had a tumultuous relationship with a man now convicted of murder. They say police failed to take action before she died.
Today means that I can breathe a little bit easier, but I know it's not over. What today's verdict means for me is that I don't have to look over my shoulder for right now. I've lived in trauma, in terror.
Authorities say Roberts never reported Buckner missing and instead began talking with 3 other women. On Monday, an Alameda County jury convicted Joseph Roberts of second-degree murder for killing her daughter, Rachel Elizabeth Imani Buckner. Authorities say Roberts' 27-year-old girlfriend in their Pleasanton apartment. Her remains washed up on the Alameda shoreline near the Bay Farm Island Bridge on July 20th. She was wrapped in tape, and her head, hands, and feet were missing. Buckner was 2 months shy from earning her degree from Golden Gate University Law School.
After the untimely demising of Imani, her family and friends said there were years of warning signs about Robert, and they blamed Pleasanton police for not doing more sooner. I mean, they literally went to their home 17 times, and nothing was ever done. This truly makes me wonder what else has this man done and got away with. It also makes me believe that his misconduct that the 3 women reported back in 2013 were telling the truth, and that he tried to use the situation to gain attention. His whole life was full of lies, and he tragically decided to destroy another person's life that was on her way to the top. Imani was a mother who had a daughter that looked up to her and loved her, and he took her mother away. Imani was literally 2 months away from obtaining her law degree when her life was taken. I'm sure she would have become a great lawyer and continued to shine in life if that man had never crossed her path. I just pray that the family can now have some closure knowing that Joseph is behind bars. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts on this situation and your prayers for this family. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.